Of course it's raining. Every time I log in, it rains. Hello guys, me ElfNet Gaming, and we are in a game that I very rarely record in. It's Minecraft. I do play this, I do have a server, but I hardly ever stream it or record it. But the reason being that I'm doing it now is because an old mod that we used a lot of back in the 1.6 era of Minecraft versions was Traincraft, and now here a few days ago they literally dropped an updated version for 1.7.10 Traincraft, and that is on Curse. I will link that in the description below if anyone wants it. But yeah, it's working, and I'm going to try to go over some of the things that have changed. This is not a tutorial on how to build trains. Okay, there's plenty of that on the internet already. There's a manual in the game you can look at to get you started. I'm just going to go over some of the blocks, tracks, and I'm going to make it daylight again. And we're going to get started. And what we're looking at here, this little one here, is your short straight track. It's at 1x1. It's simple. It's very reminiscent of the original minecart track. 1x1x1x1. Okay, get the idea there. These straight tracks do not auto curve when you intersect them going one way. We'll get to those in a minute. The next one is a 1x3 straight track. It's the medium. That's a short, a medium, and then we have a long, which is doubled. It's a 1x6. Those are your three straight pieces. And then we go to our curves. Now you have three curves. You have a very large curve, which is a 9x9, so it says. You can see how long that is. It's a lot longer than the large curve, which is this one, and then our medium curve, which is, there is no short curve. If you need a short curve, you're going to have to go back to your Railcraft tracks or your vanilla tracks and make that right angle with. And these tracks, from what I've been told, are compatible with the vanilla tracks, which means you can transition between them. They still have the compatibility on them. The biggest change, aside from the turns, is the actual turnouts, the switches. Right now, Railcraft switch machines always raining. It's always raining. Right now, the switching machines in, like this one, they don't do anything. Okay, so don't make that mistake and build your railroad with those. You have to use that. It takes a redstone signal, and you can see the points actually change. And there are three flavors of this. There's your 90 large, your 90 mid, which is this one, works the same. You place the switch right about where these go. That one has been updated, but this one hasn't, because this one still has the I don't know if you can see it, but the end of the points are not pointed like these. So they're working on it. They're getting it together. And then we have the new parallel switch. Now this is where you start your double track, your double main lines, or your sidings, parking, pass-throughs, things like that. Same principle. Yada yada. Alright. And the newer ones here are slope tracks. These are normal slopes. You have wood, ballast, and gravel. And they're gonna, well, they're trying to repeat themselves, but I did it backwards. These are normal slopes. I believe that's a 6x1 going up, and it goes up one block by the time at the end of it. So you actually have to plan out your stuff now where you want them. And this is a long slope, and this is a very long slope. These last three are. And you can see the difference. Traincraft adds a ballast block to it. You have your normal gravel, you have your black gravel, which is ballast, crushed obsidian, I believe what makes that, I think. And then you have wood, which is basically looking like a bunch of fence posts building up to a traditional wooden trestle. Alright, now you have your diamond, of course. You have this little bit here, which is a crossing, a grade crossing section, one by one. And then you have your buffer. Alright, well, I know you see the trains, and I'll get to those in a minute. Over here is machinery, diesel generator, wind generator. This is a open hearth furnace. This is your train workbench. This is where you're going to be building your trains. Distillation tower is where you can make your fuel. You can also make it with immersive engineering or whatever. You can see in the background I have immersive engineering all over the server. And we have 3 tiers of workbench here. This is 1, this is 2, and that is 3. And this is basically, yeah, there are tutorials on how to do all of this online. I highly recommend you look them up and don't ask me for them, because I don't know really how to do this. I am in creative mode. I just spawn them in. You also get some new blocks. You have the new copper ore. You have an oil sands. I'm not sure what that one was. Let me look it up and see. I should have labeled these right. Petroleum is the gray one. Oil sands is obviously the one that looks like sand. Alright. And this is your ballast. This here. Okay. If you notice, tracks are 3D. And in here there is also, of course, we have our Zeppelins and airships mods. Here is the manual. I'll show you the manual. I'm gonna need this eventually. There's also a water wheel and a bridge pillar. There's a bunch of blocks. You just have to tinker around with them what you want to do. But okay, Zeppelin, well, you can probably guess this is. I'm going to go out here on a high spot and spawn that, and you get that. And it's got a chest, and basically it's a blimp. You can get in it. Interface, you give it some fuel, you got some cargo in the chest. And it's not going to fly because I'm not giving it fuel, so... How do I get out? Oh, left shift. Okay. So we'll get rid of this balloon. And here's another one, which is your basic airship. Okay, so that's that stuff. What you probably want to do when you first come into this mod is, I recommend you open the Traincraft guidebook and read this stuff, because it tells you your basic things that you need to do. What happens, how to run trains. I believe, yeah, here's your recipes. It tells you how to build the tables. There's 102 pages of this stuff, and I highly recommend that you go through and read them up. And again, don't message me with how do you build the trains or how do you do this. Read the book. Okay, read the book. There was a guy that helped me with this. I was having a problem with my game and some key bindings, and some of you may have this problem, and this is where we're going to go into the trains. Now, if you played with Traincraft in the past, you know you can pick a freight car, locomotive, tender, whatever, and you right click and you place it down, and you right click it again, you can open its inventory. You can lock it so other people can't get in it, yada yada. And left click, you can destroy it. Okay. Diesel locomotives, SD40, Santa Fe. I'm going to try to make these guys some more liveries for these. I have to look into it. I do have a source, and I it looks like it's just a matter of putting it in Photoshop and changing it. But anyway, if you find that you right click into the cab and you normally hit R to get this interface. Brake is on, brake is off, start engine, stop engine, lock, unlock. Okay, but if you find that you hit R and nothing happens, go out, options, controls, and look for things in red that are related to the R button. In my case, goggles of revealing on dark steel armor was bound to R, and this thing loads from top to bottom when it's loading the game. So it was assigning my R key there. So I reassigned the R key to number pad 4 for this mod, which opened up my Traincraft R for the inventory. Saved it, back to game, easy peasy. Now I can get in here, take the diesel canister, which again is all explained in the manual. Shift, click, and you can see it's filling up the tank. It's always good to put a stack in these empty containers there, and as simple as that, you start engine. If I leave the locomotive, it's on. Leave. You'll see the particle effects. The particle effects are actually in the wrong spot for this locomotive, but I'm not complaining. They should go right here, not here. But yeah, that's an SD40. That is an SD70. That looks like a SD70M. Not sure what that is. Make it day again. And you can change the color of these. You can actually change the livery of these. With dyes, gray dye. I think there is green dye. I'm not sure if these will change it. Hang on. Green. I'm looking for cactus. There it is. Cactus green. And ink sac. Alright. So with your color in hand, you can just change it. Oh. Whoa. I'm not sure why that's not changing. Okay, that removes the train. Huh. Anyway, there's a way to change color. How do you change the color? Well, there was a way to change the color. Here's an idea. I could spawn the train again and read what comes up. Spawn it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on. Give me there it is. To paint, click me with the right dye. There it goes. Wonder why I wouldn't do it there. Huh. So you see it changed it to a Burlington Northern SD40. So yeah, you click it with the right dye or the color. I don't know what I was doing wrong there. Probably something very simple. And that goes for any of them. There's a steam locomotive. I know this is not the right tender for this, but I spawned a tender just to show you that, yeah, there are tenders, and tenders need their inventory for the steam locomotive to work. Same principle. Go in here. This requires buckets of water and obviously coal to get it going. Okay. Electric locomotive. This thing is ejecting me way off over there. The electric train requires a battery of sort. I think I can put in a... One of the buzzes is that they're going to be Okay, yeah, you could use a Galacticraft battery in this, an infinite battery, and it'll work. And this thing is instantly powered, and we'll go back in if it'll let me back in. Come on, let me in. There you go. R, start engine. And turn the direction you want to go, and W and S controls it, but you have to be looking in the direction. Like if I want to go backwards, I'm going to hit, I've got to turn backwards and hit the W, and to go forward, hit A, looking forward. Or, I mean, hit W going forward, excuse me. Fucking idiot. Let me out of here. Okay, that's enough of you. Alright. Get my battery back. We have a work train, which basically has a crafting table in it. You can go in and you can craft items while on the track. Left shift dismounts you out of it. Passenger car, you can sit in it. There's nothing to look at there. Freight cars, I gotta go back to the box to do this. There is another very important piece, and it's called a stake. You're gonna need the stake. And if you approach a car, right click attaching mode for freight car, and right click again attaching mode for hopper wagon US, and it says attached. These cars are now coupled. You click them again, and now they're decoupled. So they're attached. As long as you have the stake in hand, the right click does that. Otherwise, right click will open the car's inventory, and you can put things in here like so. I can put gravel in. I don't know why I would put a lantern in there, but some of these cars actually have filler. It'll fill up. This one I think only does it when you have a certain amount of things in. Yeah, it's not showing. For some reason, hopper cars you can put stuff in that normally you wouldn't put in there. So we'll get rid of all these locomotives. We won't need them anymore. But yeah, I do recommend that if you get this, to read the manual. Read the manual. Read the manual. And in doubt, look up the actual tutorials on the internet. YouTube, wiki pages, I think there's wikis on this stuff. Yeah, this is Traincraft for 1.7.10. Again, not a tutorial, just an overview of some of the basics. Looking in here, you know there's way too many things I can cover in the amount of time that I have to do these videos. You know, there are little parts like steel wheels, iron wheels, chimneys, wooden wheels, wooden cab, graphite, copper rails. There's composite suits, pants, paintable. There's, you know, driver's jackets, ticket man's hat, the ticket, you know, there's all sorts of things. The chunk loaders, engineers caps, just different things and parts to build your trains. And you really gotta like read and learn how to do it. I can't explain it. I'm still learning how to do it. There's a whole bunch of freight cars, different eras of passenger cars, different locomotives, from steam electric and diesel electrics. just work caboose, flat cars. Yeah, it's all here, and you know, propellers, balloons, things to build zeppelins if you want to go that route. Um, it's all here, and what I'm gathering, the story that I'm getting is they're going to be adding more. And I can't think of the guy's name. If you bear with me just a second, I can look it up. I really need to do this. I'll find it right quick. Let's go to the internet. So yeah, it's all there. It's a really good mod if you're into that. And the guy's name was on the MinecraftForum.net. His handle name was FirEmerald, FirEmerald. He helped me get my locomotive interface back, and yeah, it was one of those simple things that I overlooked. I was looking in the source code. I was looking at all these different mods being conflicted. Didn't even think to look at the in-game controls, and that's what it was. So if you're having like problems with can't get into your locomotive's interface, or for whatever reason, or moving it, or doing certain things, or even blowing the horn, or look in your controls and make sure their keybinds are not conflicting with some other mod if you own. Traincraft does require Railcraft. If you already have Railcraft and you get this, you may need to update to the latest version of Railcraft for 1.710. They are, I believe, going to release a version for 1.9. I'm just going to say X because I don't know the exact number right offhand. And they're completely rewriting this mod for 1.10. There is no plans for 1.8, period. You know, they stated that on their website, also in their GitHub. The best thing to do is follow your GitHub. I will link all of that in the description below, and the video is going way too long and I'm rambling, and I hope that this mod is of interest to some people. It does require Forge, of course. It's a mod. The Forge version that I'm running is Forge for 1.710. It's 16.14. I'm not going to link that. That's, you guys can find all that on your own. Those of you who are in my ElfNet RailLink community on Steam, you know how to get all this stuff. It's all linked there. I have a mod pack and all of that. If anyone's interested in that, I can link that if needed. Yeah, we're still working out some bugs with the mod pack. But anyway, this video is not about that. This is about Traincraft. It has gotten dark again. I suspect it to rain again. It's like every time I log in, it's raining or it's dark. But anyway, yeah. Traincraft. Be sure to check it out. If you're into trains and things, or you want something a little more realistic, a little better than regular mine carts, this might be the thing for you. And we just have to wait it out when they release stuff for 1.10. You know, and some other mods also get fixed for 1.10, then we can all upgrade to a better world, a better era of coding. But until then, well, 1.710, well, at least that's where I'm at. And I'm going to leave this video here. Yeah. New tracks, they are compatible with vanilla tracks and Railcraft tracks, of course. New crafting tables, generator, yeah. Burns fuel makes, I guess that makes RF. I know the wind thing does. But yeah, I'm going to leave this video here. I've gone on long enough for this. And If you liked it, be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm not going to be answering questions on how do you build a train, okay? I have to deal with that in Gary's mod, even though there are tutorials. And if you're having to ask me that question, then that tells me you did not read the book. You did not do any of your own research, because the recipes and how to do this stuff have not changed since 1.6.4. Only thing that's changed is the tracks, basically, and the ability to run it on 1.7.10. Excuse me. And with that, I'll leave you guys to your devices. As always, guys, I'm ElfNet Gaming, and I will see you in the next video.